Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let me start out this video by just letting you know I am not an Insta expert, if you will. I just felt really inspired to make this video because I just got off a webinar about Instagram not too long ago, and it was really helpful to me, and it kind of just brought to light some things that, you know, a lot of you guys have been asking me and a lot of people who follow me on Instagram have been asking. So this is kind of just a video about how to improve your Instagram photography skills, if you will, photography skills. Let's say that with the air quotes. I'm not going to be telling you guys how to get a zillion followers because I don't have a zillion followers, or how to get more likes, because I think how to get more likes and how to get more followers is just really dependent upon the content that you put out there. So it starts with this. So watch this video if you're interested in seeing how I make my pictures pretty. Okay, so I have two Instagram accounts. I have one, A Journey East blog, shameless self-promotion right here, by the way. A Journey East blog is basically focused mostly on makeup and fashion, and then Let Me Jam, which nobody knows how to say, I don't even know how to say it. That is like my lifestyle and just my daily life. That's my personal Instagram. That's where I have like friends on there, and you know, I just show pictures of what I eat and beer I drink and stuff like that. And you guys are more than welcome to follow me on there too. I actually kind of prefer that account just because it's like my daily life, whatever. Okay, so the first tip that I want to talk about is this, and that's the background of your photo. So a lot of the times I'll show either, you know, a drink that I'm drinking, be it like a kombucha or a beer or something like that, or a product, like a makeup product. So a lot of the times I try to make like a pretty background for it, you know, either set it up by my vanity somehow, or, you know, frame it in my kitchen somehow if it's a food item or something like that, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So this is my best tip, and that is if you feel overwhelmed and you feel like there's too much going on in your picture, black or white is never a bad idea. Never, ever, ever. I have white walls back here, as you can see, and I have a couple spaces in my room where they're completely blank, and I do that intentionally so I can take pictures in front of them. Same with this filing cabinet back here. I'll often clear it off and take a picture. Those are my most liked pictures, I'm pretty sure, in terms of product at least, and also in terms of me, actually. I just posted a selfie not too long ago. It was taken with this camera that I'm filming on right now. Put the self timer on, position myself in a white wall, turn on my lights to make it look nice and bright, and that is like one of my most liked selfies ever. So when in doubt, go black or white. This is a tip that I read about in a magazine. I really can't remember which one, otherwise I would love to give them credit, but I often like to take pictures of my food. I feel like this is all that I'm talking about in this video already. I often take pictures of my food, and you know, when you're at a restaurant and you have your things all arranged all pretty, this is such a huge tip, and that is take it from the bird's eye view kind of angle. Oftentimes I'll try to take pictures like, you know, from my point of view. I don't know how to explain this. If you go high and flat. Take your phone, and sometimes you might have to stand up, but I think that gets the best composition, the best photo. Also, you want to pay attention to like just composition in general and kind of make sure everything's feeling a little even. You don't want to have like all white plates on the left side that are really heavy and big, and then like a cup of coffee on the right side. You really want to kind of like mix it up and interweave them to make them look really balanced. I think that's the key to a great photo, is balance, which brings me into my next point, which is rule of thirds. And this is just a basic like tip in photography and videography that pretty much everybody knows. If you divide your image up into threes, like let's see, here I'm in the middle of this frame, and then there's like about even on either side of me. You want to think the same with your Instagram picture. And what's really nice about Instagram is that actually on their camera they have those lines or whatever, which I think is really cool because you can kind of like try to get yourself, you know, in the middle, but it doesn't always have to be in the middle either. Another way to use this is to kind of like play around with balance and have something be heavier on one side, or, you know, you can really mess around with it, but that is a really good concept to think about. Just divide your picture up into three and see if it looks balanced or pretty in that way. Lighting is super important with any picture, Instagram especially, because it is a lower quality image. So it's, you know, compressed, it's small, it's being viewed on a mobile device. So you want to make sure that your picture is nicely lit. And don't get me wrong, you don't need to go full on photo shoot and turn on studio lights for every Instagram picture, but just make sure, especially if it's a selfie, that you're finding your light. Open up a window and take your picture, or go outside. Go outside. I mean, nature is freaking beautiful. There's always, you know, that's always going to make a better picture anyway if you can be outside, but especially because of the lighting. And just find your light, you know, make sure that you're facing your light in your selfies. I see so many pictures that are like somebody's back is to a window and you can't see them, and I kind of feel like it's kind of common knowledge, but I think sometimes a lot of people just don't really think about it. And if that's what you're going for, if you're going for like the silhouette effect, it needs to be all the way. Like you can't do it and have it be an unintentional silhouette, because that doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of selfies, go ahead and try out that front camera. I know that it's really easy to use the front-facing camera, because that's just the easiest way to take a selfie. You can kind of see yourself, but I'm telling you, this camera right here is like so much better, at least if you have an iPhone. I don't really know about other phones or anything like that, but that camera takes such better quality. So if you're really looking for a good selfie and you don't have like a big DSLR or something like that you want to take, try out that one. I mean, I know selfies aren't all that serious, but Instagram has proven that people do like pictures more often that have a face in them. So there's a reason for all those selfies, and there's a reason that all those selfie-holics have like a zillion, bazillion followers. And my last tip for Instagram is don't over filter. I actually made a video last year about some of my favorite Instagram apps, but I'll tell you quickly the ones that I use. I really only use 2 for filters, and that is VSCOcam and Afterlight. I recently downloaded Afterlight. They're honestly pretty similar, but Afterlight does some things that Instagram, or that VSCOcam, I don't really feel like does as well or can't do. And usually all that I do to my pictures is I will often bump up the exposure, just because I prefer kind of like a more washed out look. Like not super washed out, like to the point where it's super grainy and weird looking, but that's just what I prefer. That's kind of become my style. And what you'll find too is that in Instagram, everybody has their own kind of recipe for their apps and like for their settings. Some people like their pictures to look super overexposed. Some of them like to do just black and white. Some of them like to look just totally natural and normal. And I kind of go for a little bit of an overexposed look. So I do that. I'll usually bump up the contrast a little bit to make things stand out. Maybe bump up the brightness as well. And I do that all in Afterlight usually. And then I'll also sometimes adjust the sharpness, because like I said, smartphones are not like the best, most high-tech, most light sensitive cameras in the world, so sometimes you'll just want to make it look a little bit more crisp. And then I will take it into VSCOcam, and F2 is like my go-to filter. Like honestly, 99% of my pictures on Instagram are probably done with F2. And I don't put it up all the way. I usually move the slider down to like 5 or something like that, but it really depends, because sometimes I go full on, and you can tell because those pictures look super edited, but sometimes that's the feel that I'm going for. But for everyday kind of pictures, I usually just bump it up a little bit just to give that kind of like interesting effect, I guess, and then I export it to Instagram. So that is pretty much what I do. Like I said, everybody kind of has their own little cocktail. The cool thing about VSCOcam too is that you can layer the different filters, which I love, and I do that sometimes, but F2 is like my baby. F2 is my girl, you know? Is it a girl or a boy? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I hope this video is interesting or helpful to you guys, and let me know some of your favorite Instagram apps and some of your favorite Instagram techniques down below, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe as well and thumbs up this video if it was helpful to you, and I really appreciate it. Bye-bye! So honestly, like the only thing that I've really seen is leather effect about